Okay, so today we are going to, if I can get my pen up here, we're going to talk about water. And what is called the universal solvent, and we're going to go through why. So our dot points that we're going to cover today, we're going to define the term solvent solute, we're going to identify the importance of water as a solvent, like why it's the one, and we're going to compare the states and percentages of it throughout the four different spheres we've covered so far. So this is our introduction to water. This is a fun topic, and let's get into it. And as Bruce Lee says, be water, my friend. Alright, so what's the point? Today, by the end of this lesson, you should be able to describe water as a solvent, explain why it's important, and you should be able to tabulate the compositions and states of water in the various spheres. And here it is. Here's our molecule. This is so what we're going to spend the next 4 or 5 weeks looking at. Okay, so first off, water, well, it covers most of the Earth. It's not just, it says that it controls our weather, but it is our weather and climate. It carves the landscape. 75% of all living things are made up of water. I mean, that means that all living things, on average, 75% of it is water. And it dissolves everything and it absorbs heat. It's quite cool. Alright, so, right, just for those of you who are, you'll get it or you won't. Alright, so what's a solution? Well, basically, a solution is a homogeneous mixture that has the minor component dissolved or distributed throughout the major component evenly, and that's what the homogeneous or homogeneous means. Now, it can be either a liquid or a gas or a solid, so it can be any of the three states. I don't know if it can be a plasma, but I would imagine so. I imagine the sun or stars themselves are solutions. Alright, so the solute is the minor component, and it's the one that's spread throughout. And the solvent then is the major component which the solute is dissolved into, and that's what makes our solution. So basically, we can have salt water here, and the solute here is salt, and the solvent's water. Methylated spirits, we've got methanol, and solvent is ethanol, and soda water, which is pretty much all soft drinks, plus the sugars and stuff. That's carbon dioxide dissolved into the water, and that's why it's bubbly. So why is it important? Basically, you are a sack of chemicals. Remember that. So water being the universal solvent, it's the solvent which, that means the universal solvent means it dissolves everything to varying amounts. Even things which we call insoluble dissolve a little tiny bit if given enough time. So basically, life relies on water. Water is the medium of life's metabolism, and if you do biology, you're going to do a unit called the watery medium, and again, it's similar, there's quite a bit of overlap. Okay, so basically, oxygen and carbon dioxide dissolve in water in the bloodstream, and basically they're carried around throughout the body, so they're essential gases. All of our nitrogenous wastes, which are the products of our metabolism, now, metabolism is the total chemical reactions of the human body, or of the organism. So these basically nitrogenous wastes dissolve in water, and that's how we eliminate them through urine. Basically, CO2 dissolves in the cellular water of leaves, and this is how we get photosynthesis. So it's water plus carbon dioxide plus heat energy or light energy. Solutions of acids, we use these to digest food. So you can see that it is the basis of all of our chemistry. Hormones we produce, they're transported through water as aqueous solutions. And basically, the oceans are full of dissolved gases, in particular oxygen, and this is what fish breathe. So, water, pretty vital. Now, let's have a look at the water in the spheres. So, just quickly, mean residence time is the amount of time that any H2O molecule is on average within that sphere. Alright, so let's have a quick look. The oceans, they're mostly liquid, and they're 96.5% of the water. The ice caps are about 1.8, and there's roughly 70% of our fresh water. So there's no fresh water in the oceans, and that's solid, obviously. The lithosphere, which is where we keep all the groundwater, again, that's 1.7%, and that's roughly the other 30% of groundwater, of fresh water. And then we have lakes and soil and atmosphere and the biosphere. We take up 0.0001% of the water, and we store that as both a liquid and a gas. All right, so here's a table that you might want to knock up from your book. You pause this and record, and we're going to move on. Okay, so that's an introduction to water. That's where it lives, that's how much there is. And it's really interesting to note that only 3% of our water is fresh, if we go back here. Or, yeah, no, 3%, we'll stick with that. So, yeah, all right, enjoy.